Tell me, Rose, did they ever shoot a herring out of a cannon?
Which brings us to the part everybody laughs at, and I'd like to ruin that for you. The circus was failing. 6 fish through a hoop does not fill a room twice, so the Lindstroms needed something enormous. And somebody had seen a poster once, a man fired out of a cannon. And here's the reasoning, and it is airtight. A man is much heavier than a herring. They built it out of a stovepipe and a milk churn. They sold tickets. People came in their good coats. They picked the bravest one they had. They loaded him. They fired him. And he went a tremendous distance. Whatever else you want to say about that afternoon, the fish flew. And he landed in a tree. And here's the line Rose gives us, and it's the one everybody treats as the punchline, and it isn't. It's the ending.
After that, no other herring would do it.
After that, no other herring would do it. Think about where those fish were. They were in the pen, all of them, together, and they were watching. And not one of them ever went in that cannon again. The Lindstroms tried for a season, not one. 2 families spent 4 years unable to agree on anything. And the herring reached a consensus in about 9 seconds. The circus closed that autumn. The Johanssons won. And then, about a year later, none of it mattered, because the herring left. Not because of the war, that's just what herring do. They vanished off that coast for years at a stretch. It happened repeatedly through that whole era, and when it happened, the word people used for what came next was famine. Empty water, empty nets, empty barrels. The Johanssons stayed because they built a house out of barrels, and a house is hard to get on a boat. And the Lindstroms left. They crossed the Atlantic. And then they kept going, 1,500 miles inland, past every lake and river and inlet capable of holding a herring, until they stopped in west-central Minnesota, where there has never been a herring in any direction at any time in the history of the state. I don't think that was an accident. And roughly 90 years later, in that same township, that same family took in a baby who'd been left in a basket and named her Rose. And they told her the whole thing: the waters, the alliance, the barrels, the hoop, the cannon, the tree. Which is why, 60 years after that, at a kitchen table in Miami, she told 2 women who didn't believe a word of it about a war her family lost over a fish.
You're making this up. I am not. My grandfather told me that story.
She got details wrong. Of course she did. The man who told her the story was her grandfather, and by the end he was calling her by her sister's name and wearing his underwear on the outside of his trousers. She says so herself. She's the one who volunteers it.
Of course, he also used to call me by my sister's name. And sometimes he'd wear his underwear on the outside of his pants. I guess he wasn't a very reliable source.
But she never got the shape of it wrong. 2 families, the best water anybody had, and they lost all of it arguing about what the fish were for. They laughed at her that night. They always laughed. She was the only one at that table telling the truth.
Oh, girls, do you realize what just happened?
Well, I know I've been having a very good time, and there wasn't even a man in the room.